After a brief 2-week hiatus, Gold Rush Season 15 returned on April 4th with back-to-back episodes, and the pressure couldn't be higher with gold prices soaring and winter fast approaching. Every miner in the Yukon is racing against time. This week's double feature delivered everything fans love: tension, triumphs, teamwork, and even a few tears, from risky new claims to aging dredges. Rookie mistakes to season strategy. These episodes set the stage for a dramatic push towards season's end. Let's dig into what went down as Gold Rush charges into its final stretch. Rick Ness $1 million. And one huge gamble. Rick Ness came into this season with something to prove. After a year away from mining, he returned focused in Hungary, investing big into a new area known as Vegas Valley. But when episode 20 begins, Ness and his crew are still in setup mode, having spent 5 weeks and $1 million preparing their cut, clearing overburden, and getting wash plant Monster Red into position. But moving Monster Red was no small task. The team opted for the safer route, disassembling it completely for transport, but they hit a snag when foreman Buzz LGO placed it in the wrong location. The mistake came just weeks after a heated argument between LGO and Ness, highlighting continuing friction between the two. Still, the crew corrected the misplacement, fired up the plant, and finally began processing dirt. Their hard work quickly showed signs of reward as gold sparkled in the soul box. Ness smiled. It's lit up like it's Christmas. As episode 21 kicked off, the crew was still grinding toward their goal. Tensions remained high, fatigue and pressure making for short tempers. Then came a major emotional moment when Brian Zaremba, Ness's closest friend and longtime crew member, returned to lend a hand. But his return came with heartbreaking news. His wife Chelsea had been diagnosed with 2 forms of cancer at only 33 years old. Even in the face of such devastating circumstances, Chelsea encouraged Z to go support Rick's efforts, and his arrival lifted spirits. Soon another hurdle hit. Smoke billowed from Monster Red's feed conveyor. A rock had lodged itself in the system, damaging the screen deck and creating 6 holes in the equipment. But the crew powered through and repaired the damage just in time for their first gold weigh from Vegas Valley, 56.0707 ounces. But Ness had one more surprise. He teased the team before revealing an additional 200 tucked away, the real haul, a whopping $256 worth an estimated $670,000. Ness is now halfway to his goal and determined to finish what he started. Tony Beats classic dredge modern hustle. Tony Beats has never been one to take it easy, known for his no-nonsense approach and large-scale operations. The king of the Klondike resurrected his 85-year-old dredge to tap into thaw pay at Indian River. Veteran miner Greg Mason was brought in to help operate the beast, which hadn't run in 5 years. They used dozers to slowly pull the historic dredge toward the water, but the move was risky. Once it floated, Mason noticed the dredge was listing to one side. A leaking pontoon was filling with water. Enter Michael Beats, who alongside Mason set up pumps and spent 2 days locating and repairing the leak. Once patched up, the dredge roared back to life and began pulling gold again for the first time in 6 weeks. The results were modest at first: 31.75 ohms, worth $83,000, while Mike Beats' Paradise Hill trommel added a more impressive 172.15, worth nearly $500,000. Tony's total climbed to 4,363. But Beats wasn't done yet. As the second episode progressed, he launched a 3-pronged gold assault, running wash plants at Paradise Hill, Indian River, and now an extension of the comeback cut. With the dredge nearly out of pay and 2 other wash plants frozen in, Tony brought in his nephew Mike to fire up Sloot at the new extension. Mike's partner Ruby Mahoney joined in to help move and set up the equipment. This hustle paid off in the weekly weigh-in. Mike's trommel 251.448 as comeback cut extension 146.46 ounces. The drag's final pass, 58.74. Oz, that's 456.680 in 1 week, pushing Tony to 4,800 ohms, total worth $12.6 million. He's within striking distance of his 5,000-ounce goal. Kevin Beats rookie boss veteran pressure. Kevin Beats has always worked in the shadow of his father Tony, but this season he stepped up as a mind boss in his own right. With just 4 weeks left in the season, Kevin had to nearly double his total gold if he hoped to earn another season as a solo leader. At the start of episode 20, he stood at 470 ounces to ramp things up. He gave foreman Brennan Rolt the task of digging out enough paid dirt for a stockpile while the rest of the team kept the wash plant running 24/7. Kevin brought in experienced operator Rick Johnson, who also happened to be a former bank manager, and teamed him up with Hunter Canning to manage the grueling night shifts. It didn't take long for challenges to surface. At 2:32 a.m. Johnson got stuck in the mud. Canning had 8 minutes to get him out before the hopper ran dry and gold would spill from the sole. They managed to recover, but the issues didn't stop. Rocks clogged the pre-wash and forced a temporary shutdown while Canning worked to dig everything out by hand. In the end, their efforts paid off. The weigh-in revealed 205.58, plus 4.14 ounces in nuggets that brought Kevin's season total to 680 ounces, valued at over $500,000. His biggest weekly haul yet, and a major step towards securing his future as a full-time mine boss. Parker Schnabel. No time to lose. Parker Schnabel entered season 15 with sky-high expectations and a deep bankroll, but Dominion Creek has thrown him curveball after curveball. Still, Parker doesn't back down from a challenge. In these episodes, he decided to go Allen on the elbow cut, hoping it would turn the tide. The job began with removing 2 feet of overburden and digging out frozen pay. He broke out the massive D11 dozer and mobilized his crew fast, even as expenses mounted. The push to open elbow cut cost a staggering $250,000, and Parker's patience was running out. Mitch Blash led the delicate task of moving wash plant rocks into the cut. Everything was on the line, and when it came time to weigh the gold, the results delivered. Big Redded Bridge cut 100.10. Oz elbow cut rocks in 282.30 ounces. That's nearly $740,000 from elbow cut alone. Exactly the kind of win Parker needed. His running season total now stands at 5,425.4 ounces, valued at over $14 million. But the pressure isn't off yet. He's burned through capital and resources, and now the race is on to see if Dominion Creek will finally pay off. Episodes 20 and 21 prove that there's no slowing down as Gold Rush barrels toward its season finale. Each miner is battling their own version of the Yukon's unforgiving terrain and weather. Along with the clock, Rick Ness has regained momentum, but internal strife and mechanical setbacks still threaten his comeback. Tony Beats is knocking on the door of his seasonal goal, squeezing every ounce out of his equipment, and his team. Kevin Beats is maturing as a leader, facing pressure with poise and delivering real results. Parker Schnabel continues to swing big, and his latest move may have finally turned the tide. With only a few weeks left in the season, the gold is real, but so are the risks, and no one is guaranteed a win. One thing's for sure: the final stretch of Gold Rush Season 15 is shaping up to be one of the most intense finishes yet. As Gold Rush Season 15 races toward the finish line, the tension is sky-high. Winter looms over the Yukon, and the mine bosses know it's now or never, with frozen ground creeping in and the clock ticking. Every decision, every load of paid dirt, and every hour of sleeing Counts Rick Ness is fighting to prove his $1 million gamble wasn't in vain. Tony Beats is pushing to hit his 5,000-ounce goal. Kevin is battling to cement his future as a mind boss, and Parker Schnabel is throwing everything he has at Dominion Creek. The gold is still out there, but time is running out.